are now tuned in to the number one wraparound coverage show from the number one spring media football conglomerate, the United Football Media, covering the number one spring football league, United Football League. This is Tell Me About It. We are back and better than ever. Something that the Players Union is working hard to make it difficult for the UFL to say, because they seem to be bound and determined to crash this league out and make it possibly not come back next year. Let me ease into this a little bit. And also, you know, we're not going to get too much into any details or too much into anything, because by the time you watch this, things could have changed again. And we don't see players actively striking players or in camp. It's fine. I just want to say this is beginning to take the feeling of me of a union who wants to make a name for themselves by making a move like this and quote unquote winning. And then you're going to crash this league out and lose this opportunity for all of these players, all in the name of a couple $1,000s more this year. It gives me the vibe of a sinking ship that people are trying to strip down and take every single valuable off of while they possibly can, which while not helping to bail out the water, which helping it sink much faster. And the main thing that strikes me is this is you guys, you say you're striking for more money, but there's no appreciable. Say, for instance, the league averaged 10,000. I believe that's what it was. The league averaged 10,000 fans in attendance per game, 750,000 viewers per week last year, or per game. Now, say we have this season, and attendance is 12,000 people per game, and the viewership is 900,000 per game. Okay, next year you point to that and you say, "Look, we clearly improved. We're clearly moving this league along. We deserve to be paid more." But there isn't that. There's, you know, and the league will have expanded to 2 more cities next year. So, hey, you expanded. You're doing better in your numbers. Everything that we're doing is making this league grow, making this league better. We deserve a raise. Okay, cool. Like, that makes some sense. But to pull this right now, when there's whispered some doubts here and there, there's been nothing but problems since this particular group, this particular union group was brought into this situation. Nothing but problems from day one. And now you're pulling this. Again, this show is very pro the players, pro the people, pro getting paid more, but not at the expense of removing this thing that generates opportunities for people who would not have. You've already had several football players who play in the league, as this has developed this week, who have come out and said, if it wasn't for this league, football would be over for me. I wouldn't be able to make my living off of football. And if you do this and you continue to do this and you go over the top with it, all that's going to be gone. And the fact that there's really I'm not really seeing a huge leg to stand on as far as growth, as far as what's been contributed that warrants a raise. Just makes me think that this union is just trying to put another checkbox on their resume that says, hey, we did that, we struck, we did this, we got what we wanted. Look at us, we're so great. Where you could end up, yeah, that's great for you. It's great for your resume, moving on to whatever you want to do. Then you destroy this opportunity for the 500 players that could have had it every year. Thousands if we count it over, the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it is. So hopefully things will be looking better by the time you guys, and I don't think it's necessarily looking terrible right now. I still think the league's going to go forward. We still had, coaches, we still had Daryl Johnston saying, cool, if you want to hold out, just be cut. I mean, to me, if you show up and somebody says, hey, this is the job, this is how many months it is, this is what you get paid, it's like a yes or no. It's not a yes, I'll do it, but now, no, I want more than what we agreed to. Like, I don't. So if we went to let's reverse engineer this a little bit. If we went to next year and the TV ratings and the fan attendance went down, and then the UFL tried to turn around and say, okay, well, instead of $55,000 for a salary, now all of you are getting paid $40,000. Would anyone listening to this, would anyone on this panel, would anyone who has a lot to say right now, would anyone be cool with that? Would anyone think that that was all right? No, exactly.
No.
So use the same logic, keep the same energy. Quarterback power rankings is what we're here for today. I got my guy Tay from DC Defender Show. I got my man True from Pro Football Network pumping out those articles over there, boy. We are the DAR Sports Media team. Quarterback power rankings, and we're not just going to go. This got a lot of buzz a couple of weeks ago when UFM posted a power rankings thing. But we're going to rank actually the whole room, the quarterback rooms, not just the starters, but because, people get hurt. We saw it plenty in this league last year, backups coming in. So I think the group is worth ranking because it's going to impact the over the season. And what's interesting, I think, is to think of the top 3 rooms for everybody are all rooms that have some questions. I think, I think most people would put Birmingham, Battlehawks, and the Brahmas up at the top of these groupings. But all 3 of them have questions coming in. Is Alex Magoo going to be the same guy? Is he even going to beat out Matt Corral? I guess you could say Matt Corral isn't as much of a question, but even he didn't completely solidify himself as the starter last year. And then same thing, the Brahmas. Brahmas have the best top to bottom group between Kellen Mond, Kevin Hogan, and Jarrett Garantano. I have ultimate faith in both Kevin Hogan and Garantano to perform in this offense. And we've seen them in this league perform before and do well. So that was probably be my overall best group. The one I have the least questions about, but still, there's still questions about Kellen Mond because we've seen guys who are highly touted come to this league and not really do much. Paxton Lynch was a former number 1 first-round draft pick, and that was back before the leagues combined. He was just in the XFL and didn't do much of nothing in the league. So just because you're highly touted and you were a great performer in college, it isn't automatic that you're going to be putting out the numbers here in this league. And then the Battlehawks, a very good group. But again, Max Duggan, same thing. Awesome real productive in college, awesome performer in college, but we got to see it. And there's a new offensive coordinators. There's all new skill players down there. We got to see how the offense is going to gel. So I don't know if I'd just easily put them up there at number 1. Tay, you over there chuckling and making faces. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on all this?
I don't have the Brahmas high at all.
Honestly. At all? Oh, okay.
At all.
What's the Kellen Mond? What's the Kellen Mond hate here?
I just don't see it. Like it's too much of a question mark for me. Like I don't really have too much I can go off of from him. So I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like I like their room much better last year than this year. I don't like it. Like they're 7th for me. They're 7th. 7th. Yes.
I'm sure Brahma Bullpen will take that real well. They definitely won't be in our comments causing trouble. They definitely aren't going to clip this and show it later on down the season.
I hope so. No, I hope so. That's exactly what I want. And I would be like, I was right this whole time. I already know.
Okay, yeah, I think about it every day. All right. So what do you got at the top? You said you don't have questions about Birmingham?
I do. Okay. But I think they're the best. Just because they won it last year. Matt Corral was there last year. He did all right in his own right. The team was still winning, and they have Magoo there as well. If he can, who knows? So just the fact that they have them too, and this team did it last year, I would put them number 1. Like I'm most confident in them too, really. But yeah, I don't have the Brahmas high. Like I have this might be. I have the Renegades number 2. I got the Renegades number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have Birmingham number 1 then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and then
Birmingham
the Renegades number 2. I mean,
yeah.
we talked about it off air, but like,
Luis Perez, he's probably the best quarterback, like by himself.
It's gonna be your answer. I knew it. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, he's probably the best quarterback. Like if I had to pick a quarterback in the league, it would probably be him. So yeah.
Okay, but you're messing with Holton Ahlers and Luke Lennon like that? Luke Lennon was pretty solid in college, I will say.
I'm more so banking on the starter in this situation. Like I look at the room and I don't think anyone else is gonna play. You know, Perez led in a lot of passing or a couple passing stats last year. You know, he played a whole bunch of football last year, so I don't see why. You know, I know injury happens, but I'm expecting him to play all 10 games. So that's why I'm not really the room doesn't necessarily matter for this team specifically. Like I said, I think he's the best quarterback. So, yeah.
Yeah, Luke Lennon was a Division III guy who put up just silly McGilly numbers. You know, he had 48 touchdowns and 2 interceptions 1 year, 3,500 yards, 3,400 yards, career completion percentage in the 70s. He was a 4-year starter there in Division III, Central Illinois. Win-loss records of 14-1, 15-0, 14-1, 15-0. Ridiculous. He was ridiculous. And also had nearly 1,000 rushing yards every year. The dude has nearly 4,000 career rushing yards, 13,000 career passing yards, 162 career touchdowns, or wait, 210 career touchdowns total, rushing and passing, to just 22 interceptions. So Luke Lennon was he's like the 100-foot shark. Everybody, you know, all the sailors have talked about him, but nobody's ever seen him. That fella was a monster on the Division III level, a monster. All right, who else you got? Who's your number 3 slot for quarterback room?
My number 3 is the Battlehawks.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's a decent point. I think that's a decent place to put them.
I think
just because we have questions about Max Duggan, but like Manny Wilkins was nice when he got in there last year.
Yeah,
a little bit erratic. He made, but like another year of experience, another year of development, he could be pretty damn serious. That arm was very, very live and had real good mobility. Like was able to run on his feet, throw off platform. Like I really liked what I saw out of Manny Wilkins last year. So if Max Duggan falters, if he ends up faltering, Manny Wilkins, I think, so keep going. You like Max Duggan. You have faith in him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like Max Duggan. I do. I remember him. I feel like everyone remembers him in college just 2-3 years ago, in the college football playoff. But I think he'll be good. And like you said, Manny Wilkins, he'll be good as well if he wins the job or if he has to come in. But I mean, I feel like we'll see a lot of these guys just in general. Like it's kind of off topic. I feel like we'll see a lot of these quarterbacks play anyway. Because I was looking, there was over 20 different quarterbacks that played last year.
That's why we're doing quarterback rooms.
There was a lot of quarterbacks. Some teams threw out 4 different quarterbacks in the season. You know, some 2, but I think just about every team had at least 2 different quarterbacks. So it's gonna be kind of rare to just see one quarterback from each team the whole season. So I do like Max Duggan and Manny Wilkins as my number 3 team.
True. Who was your number 1 quarterback room?
I debated because it's funny. I knew Jay was gonna say the Renegades because the Renegades are my number 3. And I go back and forth between the Battlehawks and the Stallions for my top 2. I think I'd probably go edge it to the Stallions though, as number 1 because out of all the quarterbacks, I probably trust Matt Corral the most out of all of them. So just especially with they got championship experience, even though obviously Adrian Martinez was, what he was, but Matt Corral was there. He's watching, he's soaking it in also while also contributing in his own right. So I think him being, I assume QB1 for this team. I assume once again,
and that Alex Magoo hive is going to be popping in our comments.
Yeah, like I assume that's the case.
There was, I almost said a cuss word. There was outrage, fudging outrage on Twitter when people dared to not put Alex Magoo at the top of this list or question whether he was going to be the starter. So that would be an interesting thing to continue to revisit over the season. So, I mean, yeah. So, but I mean, it makes sense if you have Birmingham at the top, right? You feel so comfortable, Matt Corral, all these other people who are going to be losing their damn minds, ripping their shirts off about Alex Magoo. They feel as comfortable as they do in him. That's two quarterbacks that everybody on both sides of this argument clearly feels very comfortable about. So that would put Birmingham at the top pretty much automatically. Correct?
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything away from Alex to, not taking anything away from him. I just think I would trust, Matt a little bit more than him, just because has a familiarity with the offense and with the players already. And was he not the starting quarterback at the beginning of last season? So I think, or at least that was the idea. So I think when you look at their, that QB room, it's the strongest. As far as the Battlehawks are concerned, it was like a split second where I thought of putting the Showboats in my top 3, just to get a reaction, but that it wouldn't even be believable. So the Battlehawks kind of, I guess, kind of piggybacking off what Tay said. I agree with Tay on their. I also slightly agree with Tay on the Brahmas. Personally,
my goodness,
I wouldn't have them as low. I wouldn't have them as low as he had them. 7th is crazy. Like 7th is like that's wild. Like I'd probably put them at like 4th, something like that, like 4th, maybe 5th. But
that's too high.
But I'm not fully sold yet on their. It was just funny because I think they've improved in certain aspects, but in the UFL, I don't feel like your QB room is going to 100% decide how far you go. So
not at this stage, not this juncture.
No. And so I like. We talked about it the other week where I love what the Brahmas have on defense. I think they have a lot of great pieces in general on offense. So their QB room is not the most, I don't say not the most important thing, but it's not the end all be all for them. So I'd put them at 4th. But I really just, the more I was like looking at the Renegades QB room, I'm like, man, like I kind of like they might do something this year. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they might do something this year. So, in I don't know. I'd like to see what Luis Perez has this season. Come back and refocus, refresh, and as far as Holden, I've seen people online kind of pushing, Holden. He's cool. So I think because of that, though, because I have a little bit of belief in their QB room, I had them at 3, and I think the Battlehawks. Tay kind of pretty much took the words out of my mouth. When we talk about the Battlehawks, they have players that I feel like what they bring to the table, what they can bring to the table, and because of that, and just the Battlehawks offense in general. So I trust the Battlehawks offensively to go out there and execute, which is why I trust their QB room. I just like at some point. I wish we had like one other person who could put the Roughnecks in their top 3, just because I want somebody to just be different. Because I feel like
where do y'all have the Roughnecks?
I don't think the Roughnecks guy would even put the Roughnecks in their top 3.
No. So
where do I have the Roughnecks? Hold on, let me look.
I have the Roughnecks at last.
Right. So you got
last or
no. Hold up. Tay, you got the Showboats QB room above the
I was
Brahmas?
about to say they'd either have to be the last or next to last.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy, bro. That's
He didn't see. He didn't see enough. He didn't see enough of Nolan Henderson last year to buy it, I guess.
That's crazy.
I'd easily take Nolan Henderson over anybody that the Showboats have right now. But
no, not EJ Perry.
oh, that's tough. See, that's why you forgot that Tay's boy is
never mind. Never
Memphis
mind.
now.
If they're gonna have a good season, it's gonna have to be because of EJ Perry. That's all.
Never mind. I get it. I get it. All right. I get it now. I was like, what? I was like, why do you say seventh? I was like, why do you say seventh for the Brahmas? I'm like, there's the Showboats and the Roughnecks. Those like bottom barrel. Like that's the lowest of the low. And then I realized like,
So wait. So you got the Brahmas at 7. So what does that mean? You got the EJ Perry led Showboats at number 6?
Yeah,
he gonna put him at.
Oh,
I thought you gonna put him at 5.
Wow.
I thought you gonna put him at 5.
Not 5.
Well, they got rid of old Dormady, brought in fella. I was gonna say his name was Wynn Dresser. His name is Dresser Wynn. That's just a backup quarterback name right there, Dresser Wynn.
That really
Cleo, like Cleo Lemon. That's just a backup quarterback. Dresser Wynn. Coming in to round out that room. Tay thinks it's pretty much automatic. EJ Perry gonna lead this team, this new look offense, this Ken Wisenhunt system coming in here. EJ Perry with the dotting it up. Okay, so that by process of elimination leaves the Michigan Panthers, the Pants, and mine and Tay's beloved DC Defenders quarterback room in the middle here. What are we thinking, Tay? Do you got so which one do you have higher? Because the other day, when we discussed it on the DC Defender show a couple weeks ago, you really liked the addition of Spencer Sanders in the backup role behind Jordan Tiamu. Tiamu's a former MVP candidate. So do you have the Defenders 4th, I guess, over the Panthers, or
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
tell us about it, man.
Defenders are 4th. Yeah. If you watch the DC Defender show, I spoke highly of Jordan Tiamu. I think he'll have a bounce back season. That season, like I said, I have them in the playoffs. So that being said, it kind of goes hand in hand. If I expect them to go to the playoffs, Jordan Tiamu is going to have a good season.
Yeah.
With the good run game. Again, if you watch DC Defender show, talked about the run game as well. But I do believe in Jordan Tiamu. I think he'll probably get most of the run. Like I said, it's been a whole lot of quarterbacks played last year, so you never know. You never know how your season's gonna go. But I like the Defenders at 4.
True, where'd you have these two? You got the Panthers over the Defenders, or Defenders over the Panthers?
I'd probably put the Panthers at 5 on mine.
Okay, so you got the Defenders over them. So the Panthers, man, I think if we can get a full year of Danny Etling, we might see some interesting stuff. He performed real well in spots last year, and it was just so inconsistent between the 3 guys rotating in and out, and injuries and all the stuff that happened. Yeah, but go ahead.
I don't believe in either one of their QB rooms too strongly. So honestly, I honestly it could flip either day. It could flip depending on the day. I don't believe in either QB rooms that strongly. I do agree with Ted that Jordan should have a bounce back type of season. I am not 100%. I'm not even like 80% sure that he will, though. And I think that's been my issue with the DC Defenders, is that the moment you put a little trust in them, a little belief in them, it feels like they just completely let you down. So because of that, honestly, this is like a 1A, 1B type of thing where I have them almost on the same level QB room wise. Personally, I don't see anything that's taking one of them over the next. So it's like if I had to rank them, if I had to rank all of them in general, like I said, it'd be Stallions and then Battlehawks, the Renegades, then I put the Brahmas, then it's just like Panthers / Defenders type of deal, and then Roughnecks, Showboat's always gonna be at the bottom for me, so I put the
if there's any doubt,
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt, what's going to slide? You're just going to go ahead and shine the slow.
Like
He's
Roughnecks
not
are
on that
absolutely
wavelength anymore because EJ Perry is going to.
Roughnecks are absolutely the worst. They have the worst QB room. They have the worst team. It's just going to be terrible. But my hatred, not even real hatred, but my dislike for the Showboats will never let me put anybody over them. I can't.
Well,
I can't.
I mean, EJ Perry is gonna change the culture around down there. Look, Tay's very sure about it.
In fact, 3 wins. I feel you. It definitely changed the culture.
All I'm gonna say is the first, not I don't think it's the first. I think it's the second episode of Roughnecks Rundown from our man Ace. Was literally titled, "Is there any reason to have any hope?" So that should tell you.
That's very apathetic.
What's going down there in Houston? The season ain't even started, and this man's talking about, is there any reason for any hope? But so you should go check that out because there are some reasons. Our guy Ace was able to snag a one-on-one interview with head coach CJ Johnson down there at Houston Roughnecks. Awesome for him, and that's because our guy Ace is very, very talented. So you should check out Roughnecks Rundown here on United Football Media. Of course, the other things we got going on around here. Brandon and Webb, captain's log. That ship got so out of control last year, bouncing into the harbor of the river down there and sinking, that they needed 2 skippers to run it. So now that's why you got 2 captains down there, captain's log. Brandon and Webb covering the Memphis Showboats. They're going to tell you all about why we are underrating this quarterback room and why they will make progress. I assume after the things that were said on this here podcast that Brahma bullpen down there in the cow pasture is going to be very interesting this week. I'm excited to hear what they have to say or any thoughts that they have going on into this season. Our man Josh down there, very well connected into the South Texas scene, sports scene. Excellent podcast that we have here on United Football Media. Check them out. Of course, the DC Defenders show with me and Tay. It's posted up, came up at the beginning of the weekend. We have our guy, another thing I can plug here for United Football Media, our guy Jay from Defending Football, who posts the shorts on United Football Media and on his own page, crushing it. Everybody loves those shows. He is on DC Defenders show this week. The DC Defenders content family coming together. Give you guys a good episode. We talk about the returning offensive stars that are going to make things work for the DC Defenders this year. Our man FBI Tugboat over there on the PAWD Panthers podcast breaking down. We'll see if he has anything more glowing to say about the Panthers quarterback room, more insight on that on his show, and more throughout the weeks. Of course, we are the DAR Sports Media team. If you like what we're doing here, just pop DAR Sports Media up into the search bar there on YouTube after you get done checking out everything that's on United Football Media. The DAR Sports team, we cover the NBA, we cover the NFL, we cover combat sports. Please do be advised, we get up to a little bit of cussing over there. It is not the clean, professional, family-friendly content you get here on the United Football Media. We just posted up. We're doing the NFL draft over there right now. So check us out. Throw us a sub if you like what we do. After you check out everything that's awesome here on the United Football Media. We are getting close, folks. Next week, we're going to have some game previews, keys to victory coming up, some predictions. That's next week. We are so darn close to this season. We're going to tell you about it because this is Tell Me About It.